Kill 'Em All was fast and raw, but Metallica, and in particular James and Cliff, were rapidly developing as songwriters, and it was clear that their music wouldn't confine itself to the thrash metal style for long. After tours with Raven and Venom, they returned to Lars Ulrich's home country of Denmark to record their next album, Ride the Lightning.
Ride the Lightning was Metallica's second album, and I think it took everybody by surprise. Now, Kill 'Em All was a very good debut, very strong debut. It defined a sound and started to define an era which became known as thrash. But nobody was expecting the step up Metallica took with Ride the Lightning, and they really did step up
to another level on this set on Ride the Lightning. You know, the lyrics were a little better, the production was a little better, the songs were a bit more aggressive than on the first one.
Suddenly there was an epic feel to some of the songs like Fade to Black, Trapped Under Ice. Suddenly you had a sense of confidence on tracks like Call of Cthulhu and Fight Fire with Fire, and For Whom the Bell Tolls, that you hadn't really heard before. And the thing about Ride the Lightning is that it's a consistent album from beginning to end. There are moments in Kill 'Em All that slightly dip. There is nothing on Ride the Lightning that dips. Everything is at such a high standard. To a large extent, I feel it's because the lineup they had at the time, which many would regard rightly as the classic lineup, Kirk Hammett guitar, James Hetfield guitar vocals, Lars Ulrich drums, Cliff Burton bass, plus Flemming Rasmussen as producer-engineer, gave them a sensibility and a belonging and a focus. And I think it's really true to this day that Metallica diehards argue incessantly Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets, which was the greatest Metallica album, but it is one of those two. And I think Ride the Lightning belongs up there, and to me I'd actually put it as the finest because it was the moment Metallica became great.
I think from beginning to end it's a great record.
The Lightning was a masterpiece. Some fans were concerned by the direction Metallica took with the acoustic ballad Fade to Black. For the first time, the band were faced with accusations of selling out to a more commercial direction.
By the time Ride the Lightning came out, you had a lot of thrash metal bands. The term had been coined. You had something called the Big Four of thrash, which was Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, and Megadeth. Now, with Ride the Lightning, Metallica made it very clear that they weren't about to be confined to a genre label like thrash metal, which was one of the reasons they felt able to expand into ballad territory with Fade to Black.
I think Fade to Black shows where Metallica are going. At the time, it shows where they could go. You know, it shows that there's a different kind of direction that they could do. Even though it kind of escapulates all that they're very, very good at, because the melodic touch, it shows that there is they can speak to a lot more people than there would be. They're not going to be trapped in the scene. This thing can go very, very mainstream.
Seemed to be just a little bit more. It wasn't the full brutal thrash of Kill 'Em All. It was a little more progressive and not all out thrash all the way through Million Miles an Hour, but the way Kill 'Em All mostly was. You know, but I love the album. I mean, I got addicted to the album. I mean, it took 2 listens for me to get hooked to Ride the Lightning, but then that probably is arguably my favorite Metallica album. I'm still undecided between that and Master of Puppets. Yeah. Now, if I can Ride the Lightning, you know, it did so well independently that that's how they eventually went from being on Megaforce to getting picked up by Elektra Records.
By 1986, Metallica were riding a wave of critical and commercial popularity. A new wave of American thrash metal bands had risen up in their wake.